Hey y'all. A few of you have been asking for updates on my tropicals import haul, and it got me thinking. I don't think I've done updates on anything actually, now that I really think about it. That's gonna change. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back, way back into time. We're gonna talk about some of the plants that you've seen in other videos, and I'm talking like way back to the first video. Here we go. Really. I'm talking way back to the very first video. If you don't go lay down somewhere. We're gonna go all the way back to the very first video, which is an Ecuagenera unboxing. I think I'm gonna do a couple videos in one for this first update, just because not a lot of them are still alive, if we're gonna be really real. I will try to add like little snippets of what the plant looked like in the beginning versus how it looks now, so that you don't have to jump back and forth if you don't want to. But if you're interested in watching the first unboxing of each plant, I will link them down below. We're gonna do the first couple of unboxing videos. I will show you the plant if it still exists, or at least tell you what happened to the plant if it no longer exists. She has not moved all morning. Not once. Now she's a runner, she's a track star. Makes no sense. The first plant that I unboxed in that video was an Anthurium regale. It's dead, it's gone. It died pretty much immediately, so there's nothing to tell with that. All regale, whatever, they all die on me. I've had two, none of them like me. I have not purchased another one since. The next plant that I unboxed in that video, that was a Gloriosum. I still have it. I will put either a picture or a snippet of the video or something right here showing you what the Gloriosum looked like in the beginning. Now, this is one that I had taken like 2 cuts of and had the main Gloriosum, and then I had 2 little babies, maybe even 3 little babies. I don't know, there was Gloriosum everywhere at one point. The main plant and one of the cuttings I ended up either selling or giving away. And I kept a chunk of it that hadn't started growing anything yet. This is when I just had one Millsbo cabinet and like a slender shelf, and I was running out of space. So I was like, okay, well, I have this little chunk, it'll grow a leaf eventually, and I dispersed the rest. This is that chunk now. Everything is in a water reservoir, and I didn't think about this first. Here is that little chunk now. So this was the first leaf that it put out for me. And then it was this leaf, and then this leaf, and then this leaf. This had a pretty intense battle with spider mites. A couple of times actually, hence the sachet, because I got sick of its shit. And it did have another bigger leaf, which was the last leaf it put out, but that leaf was unfurling during Spider Mite Mageddon of 2023. And I sprayed these mother truckers down with dead bug, and I meant to come back and rinse the leaves off, but then I got sick, so I did not. And that leaf did not do well. It just did not do well. So I went ahead and cut it off. That's why you can kind of see some of these leaves just look crazy. Some of this is spider mite BS, but most of this is because I sprayed it down and then just left it, and the leaves did not like that. You could see it was not feeling that at all. So this has been through it, let's be honest. But it does have a new leaf coming. It does really like pond. Obviously the leaves are getting bigger as they come out, so I think it is happy. It just was not feeling my abuse while treating spider mites. So we'll see how this leaf is doing, but this is a little chunk of the Gloriosum from that video. The next plant was a Xanum. The last update that I have for that plant was in a video that I was telling y'all it had spider mites, and it just kept getting spider mites. I've never had a plant get spider mites as frequently as that freaking Xanum, and it was passing it to all of my other pillowy leafed philodendrons, and it was just getting ridiculous. And then it got to the point where I literally threw the plant away because there just was no treating it. I started that plant over so many times. I cut all the leaves and treated it, repotted it, let it grow, and it just kept getting spider mites. It was ridiculous. So I tossed it. I no longer have that plant because I just got fed up. Why is my hand itching so bad? I will put up like a picture or video or something right here to show you what it looked like before it got chucked. Next plant is the Ruba Juvenile, aka El Choco Red. You know what I'm talking about. This one was on the shelf with the Pasta Xanum and would continuously get attacked by spider mites because of said Pasta Xanum. Right before I chucked the Pasta Xanum, we had a pretty bad outbreak with spider mites. And honestly, it was still surviving just fine, but the leaves were pissing me off. Like, they were going in all sorts of weird, wonky directions. They were like yellowing, crisping, ripping. Like, they just did not look good. So I made the executive decision to cut them. And it was a one leaf cutting at one point before the spider mite infestation. It was like long and reached out in a weird direction, and it was just kind of a pain. And like I said, I was running out of space at the time. So I was like, you know what? We're gonna chop and prop it. That's right, because then it got spider mites and I was like, you know what? Screw it. So then I chopped it, propped it. Okay, so if I unboxed that in April of 2022, I probably chopped this in like October or November, and this is her now. And honestly, I'm really, really glad that I chopped it because look how cute this is. What? It went from being like long and stringy and awkward to this like cute, compact, bushy cuteness. Is just so cute. It's got a new little leafy trying to come out, but this is her now. Adorbs. This is the newest leaf. Adorbs. I love it in this little compact size. I hope it stays like this forever and ever. Amen. I love this. So this is the Ruba Juvenile, aka the El Choco Red now. Next plant was a Plowmanii, and I'll let y'all know right now, sold it. I typically am not a fan of Plowmanii, and I think I said that in another video as well. Matter of fact, I said it while unboxing a Plowmanii. I don't know what it is. I'm not typically a fan of Plowmanii, except for the one that I got from Tropicals, because it's like this really pretty, like solid dark green ripply leafed thing that I absolutely adore. But your usual Plowmanii, not a fan of. So that one did okay. It wasn't like growing leaps and bounds, but it wasn't dying either. For some reason, that one never got spider mites when everybody else was acting up. That one was in the corner chilling. I give it props for that. It never caused me a headache, but it just wasn't bringing me joy. So I ended up giving that one away. I think I had 2 cuts of that. Like I had the main plant and then I had like a little chunk that ended up growing, and I just gave them both away because it just wasn't my vibe. So the Plowmanii actually did really well, but she is no longer in my possession. Oh, next. The next one. Next plant I unboxed in that video is the Philodendron SP Columbia, which is now known as the El Guapo. When I first got it, it was absolutely beautiful. It had 2 leaves and it looked like one of the leaves was like rotted or something, and it did nothing for me for quite a while. And then it popped 1 leaf and then things kind of took a turn. I don't remember. I think this one was having issues with spider mites too, or was it the bleaching? No, I think it was getting bleached from the lights when I moved. I showed y'all this plant when I moved, and I was telling y'all that it kept getting bleached by the lights. For some reason, this plant is like hypersensitive to the lights. It did get a bout of spider mites right before I moved because again, this was next to the Pasta Xanum. So it did get hit a little bit with spider mites, and that's why the oldest leaf, I think it is, has some battle scars from the spider mites. At that point, it was only 1 leaf because one of the first leaves dropped off. And then when it started growing a new leaf, the other one wasn't looking good, so I cut it off. So it was just 1 leaf at one point. It got spider mites, got the spider mites under control, and I moved it. But then we moved, and it was in a tent with a very strong light, and the light was bleaching it pretty bad. So it didn't look the greatest for a while, but as soon as I took it out of that tent, set it on the shelf, and it kind of acclimated to its new home, it's been doing incredible and it looks amazing. So I should have put up a video of when I first unboxed it, and then I'm pretty sure I'll put up a video of what it looked like right after I moved. Here it is now. Stunning, gorgeous, incredible. So this was the oldest leaf, and as you can probably see, it did get a little bit of some spider mite damage, a little bit of some bleaching on the leaves. This one also got torn in the move. Like this one, it went through it. But then it pushed out this leaf, which looks absolutely amazing. Love. I think it's still getting a little bit bleached from the lights, but honestly, my lights are not strong at all. I think total it's 40 watts on that shelf, so I don't know. It's just gonna have to deal. It absolutely loves this moss pole, y'all. If you have a Columbia that's kind of just like, meh, honestly, even if you have a Columbia, put that sucker on a pole. It'll love you for life. Right after I put it in pond and stuck it on a pole, it pushed out these 2 leaves. This is the newest. Look at that. I don't know if I have big hands or not, to be honest, but this freaking leaf is big. Again, it's still kind of getting bleached right where the light is hitting it. So like right in this corner right here, you can see it is lighter, but I don't know, like, I don't feel like, I don't know. I don't feel like it should be in any less light. Like, it's growing like crazy. It's just bleaching too. So if you have any tips as far as lighting is concerned, I mean, I guess I should put some sort of shade cloth or something to maybe like cover it, but I'm trying to do all that. Bleached or not bleached, I think she's stunning. So I'm very, very excited to continue to watch her grow. I love that she's kind of growing in this, like, what's the word? Basically, they're like kind of in the same height. It's not leggy at all. It's kind of like, I don't even want to say compact because it's not really compact and it's not really bushy either, but it's like a sequential. God, what is the word? Basically, it's just growing nicely. It's growing evenly. I feel like the height is even. It's just aesthetically pleasing the way that it's growing, okay? I don't know. So this is the SP Columbia from that video. Let's go to the second unboxing video. I have a feeling there's not very many left from that second video, so it'll be quick. The very first plant that I unboxed was my Anthurium Florum. Like I said, I will put like a picture or a snippet of the video here. This plant has taken massive hits. I can't seem to be gentle with this plant. Literally every leaf gets torn, ripped, cracked. I just can't get it together with this plant. When I moved, it took a pretty big hit. It did not like life for a while. It didn't die, but it just most definitely did. It almost like went dormant for a while. So it took a little while to adjust, but it did push out a new leaf for me. Of course, I ripped the new leaf because that's what I do with these Florums. But the size of the leaf is nice, so I think it's happy now. So I will show it to you. Okay, so here is Miss Pally now. I think I did take a couple leaves off because they were just so ripped and so sad that I was just like, let me just do us all a favor. But here she is now. This is the newest leaf that she gave me. Of course I ripped it because I'm an idiot. But it still was going to be a very significant sized leaf. So although she was a little bit upset for a while, she did come around eventually, and she is starting to kind of push some new roots and kind of come back to life. So I think that we're good now. I think that she's acclimated and she's happy. But as you can see, pretty much all of the newer leaves that it pushed in my care have been ripped in one way or another because I am clumsy. So all of the original leaves are gone. This was the first leaf that it pushed for me after importing it. And every leaf after, like I said, she's gotten huge. I mean, these leaves have gotten massive, but they've also gotten ripped because they're massive and they are very soft, you know, when they first unfurl, and so they snap, okay? I've been a little rough. Like I always say, there's nothing about me that's gentle, and I hate that for me and I hate that for my plants. But yeah, would have been amazing had I not put my hands on it. I did repot her into pond. She was in a mix of moss, sphagnum moss, and perlite. But I don't like perlite as like a permanent substrate, so I did switch her into pond, and she seems to be liking it. I do see some root growth in here, and there is a root that's trying to grow right here. The only issue is that obviously she's kind of like about to come out of this pot, and it's so leggy back here now that those other leaves aren't there. So part of me is thinking I might chop her, and she'll get upset, of course, and she'll probably have to regroup, but I might chop her and then kind of push this back further in the pot so she has more room to kind of like crawl and grow, because otherwise, oh, there's a new leaf in here that's coming. Don't touch it. Okay. Otherwise, she's gonna end up just kind of like falling out of this pot, and there's nothing that's going to support her roots. So yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with her yet, but I do need to kind of figure something out because she is starting to push leaves for me again, and I don't want her to be mad at me anymore. I want to call a truce so that I can see big, beautiful leaves, but here is the Florum now. The next plant is the Fibrosum. To be fair, I chopped the hell out of that Fibrosum. It was just so much going on with it, and I felt the need to chop it because it was growing in a weird way. I wouldn't be able to put it on a moss pole, and I was just like, you know what? No fear, we're just chopping. So I don't know if that's what did it, but then I also keep hearing how finicky these Fibrosum are. So I don't know if it was just bound to die or if I sent it to its maker early because I got chop happy. I'm not sure. I'm usually pretty confident about chopping things because I've never had an issue chopping. I've chopped up imports like Edward Scissorhands and they just come back happy and thriving. Not this one though. The Fibrosum lasted maybe a week and hit dipset. It was not with the shit and it was just done. So RIP to the Fibrosum. Have not tried it again since because it was that traumatic for me. It was just not. The last plant that I unboxed in that video was a Philodendron Rubicinctum Platinum. That one was not happy at all either. I don't think I chopped that one. I think I was just putting it in water to kind of revive it with a little bit of Super Thrive, and it never revived. It just was like wilted and sad, and that one like stayed in my cabinet for probably about 2 weeks, but I remember specifically my husband walking by a couple of times and being like, you need to just let that one go. just call it, please. Time of death 3 days ago, please. So yeah, that specific plant is not in my collection anymore, although I did get a replacement recently from, I think I got it from Tropicals, or did I get that from Aqua Genera? I don't remember now. It was an Aqua Genera haul, I remember now. But I did try that one again and it's been doing really well. It took a little bit of time to acclimate, but it actually just pushed a new leaf for me. So I think the first one, I think that one just came with a do not resuscitate and it just was done, because this one's doing really well and I haven't had any issues. Like I said, it did take a little bit of time to acclimate it. It like needed to grow new roots, but it did so pretty quickly and is kind of just continuing to do its thing. So I think we're good, fingers crossed, with the Rubicinctum Platinum that I have now. I'll show it to you now because by the time I do an update on that unboxing, some significant time will probably go by, so we could just keep tracking how it grows. Okay, so I will show it to you now, but remember, this is not the same Rubicinctum Platinum from that video. This is a more recent purchase, so I'll show you. Alrighty, here she is. I can confirm this is in fact from Ecuagenera. I don't remember when I bought this. I think it's been about a month now, maybe. So all of these leaves came on the plant when I got it. And it's in a drainless, and as you can see, well, maybe you can't, there was a lot of dead roots in here. So it did take a little bit of time for it to acclimate and grow some new roots, but as you can see, it is growing new roots and it's looking really happy, and it's kind of all throughout here. You can kind of see that it's pushing some new roots. Can you see? Yeah, like right here. Yeah, so it kind of took some time to acclimate and do its thing, but I don't think I lost any leaves on this one at all. Ooh, almost broke one off, geez. But yeah, I don't think I lost any leaves at all. And just recently, it pushed a new leaf for me. Look at that cutie pie. Oh, it's still hardening off, but it is stunning, gorgeous, love it. So I think this is a success story. I think we're doing all right with the Rubicinctum Platinum. It does have some EFN spots. I don't know if you guys can see that. What if we turn it? No, maybe. Okay, hold on. Let me figure out how to show this to you. Okay, come on, cooperate with me. Can y'all see it? See those little dots, maybe? Can you? Hopefully, I think you can. Anyway, but that's the only thing with this new leaf that I don't notice on any of the other leaves. I think that it's like EFN spots. I'm not sure. I've heard that that means the plant might be stressed, but I could also be wrong. I don't know. I did wipe the leaves off just so that I wouldn't continue to like bleach the leaves, and a few spots have grown back since. So I need to wipe it off again. but none of the other leaves have it. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's a good thing, bad thing, whatever. I'm still proud of it. I don't care. It looks so good. The fact that I'm keeping this thing alive and it actually looks good, that's all I need. So not the original Rubber Sanctum Platinum, but I am capable. While we're here, I'll go ahead and do a little side note on the tissue culture plant that we unboxed and potted up together. It was kind of like my comeback to the channel. I will again link the video, but the plant is gone. It was doing really, really well, y'all. And I actually had a little baby of it that I put in fluval stratum, and it took off too. So they were doing really, really well in fluval stratum. And then I got ballsy and stuck it in pond because I thought, what's the difference, right? Big difference apparently, because it literally like melted into nothing and died. So yeah. I think that I had shown y'all an update on that when I first moved, and I kind of did like a tour of the tent that I had all of my plants in. I still had it then, and I believe I showed y'all that in that video. So I will put up the last little update that I have of it here so that you can see what it looked like before I went and messed with it. But it was doing really well, and I had to go fix something that wasn't broken, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. I hope that y'all enjoyed this little update. I will go through each video and do updates like this until we've completely caught up. So if you're enjoying this, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Please feel free to subscribe if you're enjoying the content and you wanna join our little plant family here. We would love to have you. Don't forget to also hang out with me for a little bit in the comments below. You can chat and update me about anything really, as long as it's, you know, nice. Don't be mean, okay? But yeah, I love chatting with y'all in the comments. So whether it's plant related or not, if you just want to stop and say, hey, feel free. Don't be shy. Hang out with us in the comments. We would love to hear from you. I hope y'all are taking good care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.